On 27 July 2018, Nirmala Panta, a 13-year-old girl from Knachanpur, Nepal, was found raped and killed in a sugarcane field near her home, after she went missing the day before. On social media, the news of the incident went viral and received broad condemnation. In the preceding days and months, numerous justice movements and mass demonstrations were organized around the country to place pressure on the government and police. A suspect was reported to the Knachanpur District Police Office on 20 August. Locals, however, refused to recognize him as the culprit and demanded his release, accusing him of being targeted by the police. The body of Nirmala was found raped and murdered, and the report concluded that she had been raped and cited as throttling leading to asphyxia and death. The first investigation by the local police and a crime investigation bureau, (CIB) team attracted intense criticism for its procedures and behavior. On July 26, 2018, it was about 11 a.m. when Nirmala Pant got on her bicycle to go to the house of her friend Roshani Bam in order to complete her homework. Pant was a resident of Bamdutta municipality in Knachanpur, a grade 9 student at Saraswati Secondary School. Pant never returned home. On July 27, the next day, Pant's body was found more than a kilometer from her home in a sugarcane field, about 600 meters from Bam's home. Pant was raped and then killed brutally. A series of careless acts by the police came to light shortly after the body was found, including searching for Pant the day she went missing. Protests started in Knachanpur and spread throughout the nation, with the public demanding punishment for their incompetence and the arrest of the perpetrator per second against the police officers. After her bicycle was found on the side of the road in the sugarcane field, Nirmala's body was discovered. Based on a preliminary report, the local police said she was killed after being raped. The investigation began after the CIB, Crime Investigation Bureau, team led by Anger GC, Deputy Superintendent of Police, DSP, reached Knachanpur 4 days after the incident. A 41-year-old local man, who had previously served a 9-year prison sentence for the murder of his brother-in-law, was identified as the suspect by the Knachanpur police and CIB team. Police stated that under questioning, he had admitted to the crime several times. After his DNA did not match samples from the victim, he was released on 12 September. The investigating officers are not able to accept the innocence of Bista, considering the DNA test. Authorities confirmed that under interrogation, Bista confessed several times to the crime. Bista admits the allegations in multiple interview videos, and also explains the way in which he committed the crime. According to senior police officers, the definitions of Bista fit the nature of the crime. Violent protests were initiated by the locals, including Panta's relatives, claiming he was innocent, and maliciously framed by the police to protect the real culprits. On 23 August 2018, based on the demand of protesters, the Bam sisters, Panta's friend, and her sister, were arrested. They were also released after legal consultation with the district attorney's office. Panta's friend was released on the condition that, on request, she would present herself to the police, while her sister was released on bail of Rs 30,000. Hari Prasad Manali, Director General of the Prison Management Department, led a committee formed by the Nepalese government to investigate the incident on 23 August 2018. Knachanpur Police Chief, Superintendent of Police, SP, Dilli Raj Bista and Kumar Bahadur Kadka, Chief District Officer, CDO, were summoned to Kathmandu and were replaced by new officials. The incident also resulted in the Ministry of Home Affairs suspending DSPs Jayan Bahadur Sethi and Anger GC, Inspectors Akendra Kadka and Jagadish Bada, and Assistant Sub-Inspector, Asi, Ram Singh Dhami. 9 police officers were questioned on 17 September 2018 about their role in the investigation of the case, which included SP Dilli Raj Bista. After all, Birendra KC, the investigation panel of the Home Ministry, resigned, citing threats from the group seeking to disrupt the investigation. According to the Nepal police speaker, SSP Shailesh Thapak Shetty, for further investigation, DNA samples from SP Bista, his son, and the nephew of the mayor of Bamdata were taken along with the victim's vaginal swab, but none of them matched. A new investigative committee under DIG, Deputy Inspector General of Police, Dhiru Basnyat, was set up by the Nepal Police on 17 September 2018 to replace the former investigation committee led by SSP Udham Subedi. Prime Minister Kaja Prasad Sharma Oli claimed on the same day that the inquiry had been disrupted by the local police. Oli speculated that the police had either faked the investigation or had made errors in the investigation. To attract the central government's attention to the situation, the Nirmala's family traveled 35 hours by bus to Kathmandu. Oli assured the family that the suspect, regardless of his income, power, post, or influence, would be prosecuted and punished. On 18 September 2018, SP Kuber Kathayat, the Knachanpur police chief, admitted that no conclusive evidence existed and that the investigation was pending, leading to the loss of evidence by the local investigating police following the discovery of the victim's body. The government had earlier set up an inquiry commission. For the new inquiry, Dhiru Basnyat, who was named as the lead officer of a 9-member probe committee formed on 16 September 2018, confirmed that the investigation would be restarted. There were nationwide campaigns, with demonstrators and the public demanding that the government and the investigation agencies ensure the finding and accountability of the suspects. About a dozen different investigative teams, including 2 high-level teams under Joint Secretary Hari Prasad Manali of the Home Ministry and Additional Inspector General Dhiru Basnyat, were created, but 2.5 years later, the case still remains unsolved. The Central Investigation Bureau arrested Pradip Ral, a neighbor of Pant, from Kathmandu in December of last year. Ral's friend, Bishal Chaudhary, was also called to the Knachanpur Bureau for questioning. Police sources say that both Inspector General of Police Arbendra Kainal and Bureau Chief Deputy Inspector General Neeraj Bahadur Shahi directly interrogated both Ral and Chaudhary. Ral and Chaudhary both admitted to Pant's rape and murder during Kainal's questioning, the police said. Defense Minister Ishwar Pokhrel declared that the culprits had been arrested after the confession appeared in the newspapers. Neither Ral nor the DNA of Chaudhary, however, matched the sample gathered from the vaginal swab of Pant, after which they were both released. Since then, the pair has accused the police of torturing them during interrogation, an accusation denied by the police. There were significant lapses in the processing of DNA, according to a study by the National Human Rights Commission, because of which an accurate result could not be obtained. The DNA sample was obtained from 3 layers of the vaginal swab in a test tube. However, the Commission's report states that the extraction produced an inadequate sample of DNA that could have been harmed as well. It's been a year since the crime, but the police are nowhere close to finding the suspects and arresting them. The government and police officials continue to pledge that there is still a significant investigation into the murder, but nothing has been seen. On July 23, during a press conference at the Home Ministry, Home Minister Ram Bahadur Thapa said that the government was firm in arresting the perpetrators, but also flippantly remarked that rape was commonplace in Nepal, and that the rape and murder of Pant had been unnecessarily politicized. While the Nepal police has a solid record of solving crimes, there are several concerns with the way police deal with cases of rape. We hope one day justice prevails for Nirmala.